These colors are so vibrant. This blue looks really good. I love this color. This is one of my best. Have you ever tried to create vibrant colors using stain only to end up with a mess? I'm going to share with you the products and techniques I use to create these vibrant colors so you can create some stunning pieces of your own. Adding color to your wood projects is nothing new, but to achieve these vibrant, deep colors, the product you choose will make a huge difference. Today, I'll show you how I mix and apply Kenda dye, as well as showcase the techniques I use to create this blue wave effect. Kenda dye is an environmentally safe stain powder that's made in the USA. This kit comes in 5 different colors: red, yellow, black, brown, and blue. Blending these colors will create more variations. It's recommended to use a 1/4 teaspoon of powdered dye to a 6 to 8 ounces of either warm tap water or 70% alcohol. Rubbing alcohol will evaporate faster and reduce the raising of the wood grain. Adding more powder or liquid to the mixture will lessen the dye, but adding more powder may not darken the dye. To achieve a deeper color, more coats are recommended. After the dye is completely dissolved, check the color of the dye before applying. The color of the dye does not always represent the color it will be on the wood's surface. Mixing 2 dyes together will give you a wider range of colors like greens and purples. Kenda dye is the preferred dye among many DIYers and professionals because of its quality. Unlike other products, these dyes are meant to be blended together. Because of this versatility, you can create some of the most stunning effects using endless techniques. Before applying the dye, you want to make sure that your surface is always prepped correctly. It's recommended to prep your surface with 150 grit sandpaper. A higher grit sandpaper will tighten the grain and won't allow for penetration of the dye. After prepping your surface, it's recommended to soak the top of your project with warm water to raise the wood grain and then re-sand after it's dried. This will ensure for the best penetration of the dye without raising the wood grain on the final product. To apply this product, I like to cut up a shop towel into about 2-inch sections. When applying this product, it's important to remember the layering effect. No matter what design you're going for, you always want to start with the darkest color first. For this project, I'm going to start with a deep purple around the edges and slowly work my way towards the center. To blend this dye, I'll slowly dilute it with just pure alcohol and work my way towards the center. During this process, it's important to remember to work quick and keep your surface wet. Using pure alcohol will help you dilute things and make sure you don't have any straight lines or unnatural looking edges. You can see our first coat, we were able to blend that deep purple all the way from the edge to the center just using pure alcohol. For our second coat, we want to use a deep purple again around the edges and slowly blend towards the center. After the first coat, you can see a drastic difference. We have much deeper purple and an even better blend towards the center. For our next coat, we'll start with the blue. I'll use the same process, blending towards the center and blending outwards, but I want to make sure when I lay down my original hard line, I place it just a little bit inside of where the purple was. It's important to remember not to smear any of the darker colors into the center. I'll then replace my rag and use a diluted pure alcohol to blend my hard line towards the center. After our first blue coat, you can really start to see the blue wave effect come alive. After this coat, it's important to let things dry out. We've packed in a lot of dye, and it's important to let it dry out for at least 12 hours. After our project dried out, it was time to apply our final coat. For our final coat, we'll apply a blue to the entire surface of this project. We'll apply it in the same area that we did our last blue, but this time we'll use the rag to buff it out instead of pure alcohol. We want to try to buff away any hard lines, but making sure that we don't bring any deep blues into the center. After our final coat and another 12 hours of drying, I like to come back with a little bit of warm water and a sponge and really blend all of our lines together. I've found that the little bit of warm water really helps bring all the colors together and eliminates any imperfections or any unnatural look that you may have. For the center, I'll make sure to really blend and buff out and bring it back to a lighter blue, remembering that when things are wet or there's a clear coat applied, the entire project is going to look much darker. I prefer to work backwards and produce a lighter blue using the sponge than try to achieve a lighter blue by placing less stain. I find that you get better coverage and you reduce the opacity by buffing rather than just applying less. I've tried many different finishes with this dye and they all work. For this project though, I'm gonna use a spray enamel so that I don't blend any of the colors using a brush finish and I get that crystal clear finish that I'm looking for. Before you go, don't forget, YouTube's 100% free, and the best way to support me is to like and subscribe. We just passed our first 1,000 subscribers.